Welcome back, everybody. With us tonight is the only general manager this track has had in its 40 seasons, Bob Steele. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ann.
You're very welcome. Now, Charlie Hill is a person that built this track. The two of you were quite the pair. How did you and Charlie get hooked up all those years ago?
Well, believe it or not, I began with the company in 1949, and I was an associate judge at that time. A year or so later, Charlie Hill bought had some whiskey stock that was going bad, so he sold that and bought into a racetrack. And then he got very heavily into Hilliard Raceway, and after we were there for 9 years, we realized that the facility wasn't big enough. It wasn't the right kind of facility to actually do any more business, so as a result, we made the decision we needed to look for a nicer place and build a high-show place of racing.
Well, now, did it take you a long time to find this property?
Well, it took about a year. We probably looked at 55 or 60 pieces of property from Route 40 to where 70 goes east now, and up north almost to Delaware. We looked at various pieces of property, and at the time we acquired this piece of property, we had no idea there was going to be a 270.
Which was a good thing.
Absolute luck, yeah.
Well, now, I've heard it say that it couldn't be done about building this track in relation to, where did that come from?
Well, on opening night in October of 1959, we put up a sign, they said it couldn't be done, and because the reason that sign was up there is because at the time it appeared that it couldn't be done. But we made it happen, and we opened on that cold October night, and it was a very successful night, as a matter of fact.
Well, now, you only had 2 sections of the grandstand done.
No, we had 3.
3.
We had 3 done. We had 3 done with roof sections. The other 2 sections did not have overhead roof at that point. And we had no clubhouse. Our offices were in the grandstand at that time. And the following year, we had a clubhouse that would seat 325 people.
So it's been an ongoing expansion of the building and the facilities and the amenities.
We seem to expand about every year or two, and we expanded the clubhouse to approximately 800 seats in 1967. Built the penthouse in 1972 or 3, and we built several facilities in the barn area to accommodate the horsemen because they need good accommodations also.
Well, now, we've had a lot of very good horses, Rambling Willie, Gene Regal has schooled all his young horses here. Are there any races or horses or personalities that really stand out in those 40 seasons?
Well, probably the Memorial Day or 4th of July, I don't remember which was one of the 2. I think it's 4th of July that Rambling Willie was in a 5 or 6 horse photo, and it was a great race. And of course, Brad Hanover was here with Frank Irvin, and we've had some of the great drivers. Billy Houghton was here many times. We've had some of the great drivers in this industry here, and I hope that'll continue. I'm sure it will.
We certainly have a good colony right now. Anything else that really, any big problems, anything really unusual that defines Scioto Downs?
Well, I think the acquisition of land was the first nice thing that happened, and we came down here to look at it, and we were standing to approximately where the grandstand is now, and there was a barbed wire fence up there. It was a very cold, snowy day, and Charlie Hill and I were down there. And somehow he got up against the fence with a white leather coat and tore a little section out of that, which made him a little unhappy. But we decided right then that was a natural amphitheater, and that's where the grandstand should be constructed, and that's how it happens to be there.
And that's why this has this nice flat area here and
that's
a good
correct.
View from everywhere.
Yes.
Now, there's one story I've got to tell on you. I heard this story about Bob a long time ago. From Hilliard Raceway, you do run into logistical problems. Weather can wreak havoc on schedules. Tell me what happened when you had that rain at Hilliard.
Well, Harness Tracks of America had a pacing series known as the Mid-America Pacing Series, and it was later changed because there was a trucking company by the name of Mid-America, and as a result of that, I don't know how we ended up with Mid-America, but by the same token, we had about 3 inches of rain the night before this race, and Billy Houghton was going to be there, and I don't remember who the other drivers were. Eddie Cobb was going to be there, and we had some really good horses for that day in that little half-mile track, and the drainage was absolutely horrible. So I decided the next day that there was no sun, the sun could get on the racetrack because of the grandstand. So we bought fuel oil and gasoline and tried to dry the racetrack out. And in the meantime, we caught the hub rail on fire. But then we put that out and painted it, and no one knew the difference that evening, but it did happen.
And now they know the difference.
Now they know the difference.
Well, Bob,
Won't
we're looking forward. We have these little problems in racing, folks.
That's right.
We're looking forward to a very good season this year. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, Andrew.
Okay, and we'll be back.